What happens when a Juilliard-trained classical piano prodigy decides to start writing pop songs just so he can finally get invited to high school parties? Hello, I'm Edwards. Today, the music world is saying goodbye to a true architect of American pop music. Neil Sedaka has passed away at the age of 86. His family announced the heartbreaking news this week, closing the book on one of the most unique and resilient careers in entertainment history. Because Neil Sedaka didn't just conquer the music industry once, he conquered it twice in two entirely different eras. Let's look back at how it all started, because his origin story is absolutely brilliant. Neil was born in Brooklyn in 1939. By the time he was 9 years old, he was already attending the Juilliard School's pre-college division. His mother had taken a job just to afford a second-hand piano for him, and by 16, he was winning classical music competitions judged by absolute legends. +2, but as a short teenager with glasses and braces, classical piano wasn't exactly making him popular at school. So he realized that if he learned how to play the pop hits of the day, his fortunes might change. And it worked. He later said that not only was he finally invited to parties, he suddenly became the life of them. He teamed up with his teenage neighbor, Howard Greenfield, and they started churning out a song a day. They eventually made their way to Manhattan to pitch their music. One day, the legendary singer Connie Francis was desperately looking for a hit. Neil played her some sophisticated tunes, but she hated them. So, he played a fun, bouncy track called Stupid Cupid. She was sold, and it became a massive global hit. But when Neil started recording his own music, things didn't go as smoothly. RCA Records was actually about to drop him. They told him he had exactly one more chance to write a hit. So Neil approached it like a scientist. He studied the Billboard charts and noticed that the biggest hits all featured strong drum breaks and girls' names in the titles. So he went home and wrote a song called Oh Carole, and that Carole he was writing about, it was his former high school girlfriend, the legendary songwriter Carole King. The song was a massive smash, and while his mother was initially disappointed that he abandoned classical music, she quickly relented when he handed her his very first royalty check for $62,000. Neil became a superstar, releasing hits like Calendar Girl and Breaking Up Is Hard to Do. But then, the Beatles arrived. The British invasion temporarily eclipsed his career, and for years, he fell out of the American spotlight. But here is where his story becomes legendary. In 1973, he met a massive fan of his at a party. That fan's name was Elton John. Elton immediately signed Neil to his own record label. Neil completely reinvented his sound, leaning into soft rock, and delivered the massive #1 hit, Laughter in the Rain. He also co-wrote Love Will Keep Us Together, which won a Grammy for Captain and Tennille. He had successfully pulled off one of the greatest comebacks in music history. Neil Sedaka leaves behind his wife of over 60 years, Luba, his 2 children, and a catalogue of over 50 million records sold. If you grew up listening to his music, what is your absolute favorite Neil Sedaka song? Please share your memories in the comments below. For more honest, respectful tributes to the legends who shaped our culture, please hit that like button and subscribe. I'm Edwards. Thank you for watching.